I'm Keely Eure here with Shotgun Spratling for the big game preview. And no, we're not talking about the Super Bowl. We're talking about USC, UCLA matching up in men's basketball. Shotgun, it's obviously a big game on Saturday. What's at stake here?
I mean, we had to talk about this because first place in the Pac-12 is at stake. The Trojans are a game behind the Bruins, but they have an opportunity at home to play and move their way up into first place and take the tiebreaker, at least initially, as they'll play again at the end of the season at Pauley Pavilion. But big game for both teams because this is another opportunity to pad a resume. Both of these teams are sitting around the 6th seed right now in the bracketology, if you're looking at most of the experts around the country. So this is an opportunity for another big win for UCLA. This would be a big quad one win because USC right now is number 21 in the net rankings. That's really high up there. UCLA comes in, I believe they're around the 35 mark. So for USC, this is an opportunity to continue to pad their resume with a quad two win here. When they go to Pauley, it would be a quad one win. And those things can obviously change as the rankings change throughout the season. But for USC, opportunity to continue beating your rival. You know, they beat UCLA last year at home on a buzzer beater. Keely was actually there for that one.
I was.
So, we had to bring her back in. Maybe she's the good luck charm for USC basketball. Who knows?
Who knows?
We'll see how the matchup plays out. But I think this is a really big game because this is kind of establishing the dominance in the Pac-12 because right now there's no other team that's within 2.5 games of UCLA. So, if UCLA can win this, they go up 2 games on USC. They've got a 2-game cushion going through into the back half of the Pac-12 schedule. And so that's going to make them very difficult to catch for anyone. Washington State lost or beat Oregon yesterday, and that pushed the separation basically between the two LA schools, and the rest of the conference is getting wider and wider right now. So an opportunity for USC to jump back to jump to first place, an opportunity for UCLA to pad their lead in the Pac-12 over the rest of the conference.
In that sense, Shotgun, why has UCLA done so well in Pac-12 play so far?
Yeah, it's interesting. They're a team that started off the season. They opened at San Diego State, and they lost by 15 points. And you go, oh, man, is this the UCLA we saw last year that lost to Cal State Fullerton early in the season? No, they've bounced back, and they've been really good, and they've done it without their best player. Chris Smith tore his ACL, a couple games into the Pac-12 schedule, and UCLA is 9-1 in the conference schedule. They're doing it with a very balanced attack. They have 5 guys that are averaging in double figures, including Chris Smith. They have another guy that's right below that at I think 9 point something. So they've been able to do it in different ways. One night it may be Johnny Juzang getting hot and catching fire. The next night it might be Jaime Jaquez, being able to score 15 points. He's been pretty consistent. He's been their leading scorer, and yet they've got 5 guys that have scored more than 20 points, and he's not the one. So that tells you how balanced their scoring has been. I think that's been the big key for them. Mick Cronin is known for his defense, but their offense has actually been really good this season.
Now, obviously, this is a rivalry matchup, so maybe a more casual USC basketball fan might be tuning in for this game. In that sense, how has USC been playing? What should that fan know?
Yeah, that fan might be going, wait, USC is on the same level as UCLA? That's usually not the case in basketball, but USC has definitely bridged that gap in the past under Andy Enfield. They've done really well against the Bruins. And this season, USC has been playing well, especially since they've come back. They had a 2-week COVID, outbreak, or not outbreak, but they had a player test positive, so they had 2 weeks off. They've come back from that. They lost a game early after that, but since then, they've won 9 of 10. They've been on a roll. They've been playing really well. They won at Stanford earlier this week, which was a big win for them coming from behind. They're 1 possession away from a 10-game win streak right now. And it starts with the big man in the middle, Evan Mobley, and what he does, but it's also the guys around him. If they make shots on the outside, they're one of the more dangerous teams in the country, not just in the Pac-12, but in the country, because you have a potential top 3 pick, maybe even the number 1 overall pick in Evan Mobley in the middle there. And it's not that he's just really good on offense. He can finish with both hands. He can shoot. He can do a little bit of everything. You can put him on the wing and he can drive by other bigs. But on the defensive end, he changes everything for them. He's averaging almost 3 blocks a game. I think it's the top of any freshman in the country. It all starts with him, but it works its way out from there. They've got a whole new roster this year. Basically, they only had 3 guys returning that played last year. So So they brought in some grad transfers, brought in transfer from Rice. Drew Peterson has been a big element for them, and everyone's kind of finding their place now. Since they've been able to, this current streak of winning 9 of 10, everyone's kind of filling their niche. Now they've got a couple of guys that have been hit and miss a little bit, but everyone's kind of figuring out where they need to be, what their role is. And I think that's really contributed to the way they've been playing recently.
Now, what are you going to be looking for on Saturday? What's going to be the most interesting matchup on the court?
Yeah, we talked about UCLA's offense. They're really good. They score the ball. I think they're leading the Pac-12 in scoring. USC's defense, they're one of the top 10 teams in the nation in field goal defensive percentage. So that, again, goes back to Evan Mobley. USC does a really good job of attacking the three-point shooters and forcing them to drive into the paint. They kind of funnel everything into Evan Mobley. So I'm curious to see how UCLA tries to attack USC's defense. USC's done a really good job with the way that they've defended UCLA over the past few years. A couple years ago when Lonzo Ball was at UCLA and they were a top 5, top 10 team, USC was able to knock them off at home, and it all started with their defensive efforts. So I'm curious to see how USC, if they're going to really close out hard on shooters and force everyone in the middle like they've done a lot this season, and how the UCLA tries to make an adjustment to that. So I think that's going to be an interesting matchup. USC is the tallest team in the nation, and you'll hear it on every broadcast that's mentioned. It starts with Evan Mobley, but they have wings that are 6'8", like Max Agbonkpolo has really taken a step forward defensively for them recently. You got Drew Peterson, another 6'8" guy that's running the point for you at times. So they've got great length on the wings as well, and they can cause a lot of havoc when getting in the passing lanes and stuff like that. So USC's defense versus UCLA offense, in a generic sense, is the best matchup to watch in this game. But to see how UCLA tries to make adjustments to what USC has done to other teams will be the interesting thing for me.
Alrighty, be sure to check out the game, 7 p.m. on ESPN Saturday, the big ESPN, Shotgun.
Yeah, USC and UCLA getting a national showcase game. And, USC struggled at times when they've had a national showcase game. So I'm interested to see how they do in this game. Crosstown rivalry. It's unfortunate that there can't be fans in the Galen Center to kind of relive what happened last year. There was so much, electricity in the atmosphere when you have a buzzer beater over your rival. And with Evan Mobley, he's only going to be at USC until the end of the season. So fans not getting an opportunity to see him, it would be great for fans to be in the Galen Center. Number 1 versus number 2, a battle for first place in the Pac-12. But unfortunately, I'm going to be there. You fans won't be able to be there, so I'm going to give you as much insights as I can from the arena.
Way to rub it in, Shotgun. That's a little mean there. But that's going to wrap it up for the big game preview for Shotgun Spratling. I'm Keely Eure. For more, check out uscfootball.com.